Hi everyone, A Loving Soul here. Hope this video finds you well. Today I'm going to be trying something different again. Usually we play our decks on the wild ranked ladder, but today I wanted to try something that I feel is sort of like middle of the pack, which is Evenlock. Evenlock, once again, we're revisiting our good old friend Genn Greymane, so we're going to be able to get our 1 mana life tap instead of having to pay 2 mana for it. And with 1 mana life tap, you get some more luxuries. You get to cheat out cards like Mountain Giant, which reduces its cost based on your hand size, and we also get to damage ourselves more easily to get to play really cheap Molten Giants. Often we're going to play it for 2 or even less mana than that. So pretty much a fun deck. You're going to be life tapping a lot, getting out your big 8/8s, and then dealing with boards to help stymie the threats that aggro throw at you. And yeah, that's about it. Let's get into it.
You asked for it.
Your soul shall be mine.
Alright, so we're against a mage. What do we want against mage? So it's probably a Reno variant or a Secret Mage variant, both of which are kind of bad for Warlock because we're going to get burned out. I'm going to mulligan these two. I'll keep a 2-drop. I think like the game plan, since we're going first, is we're going to tap turn 1, tap turn 2, tap turn 3, and then play a 2-drop, and then hopefully by turn 4 we'll have something like a Mountain Giant. That's sort of like what I'm thinking. Alright, tap. So even Warlock, you get this 1 mana hero power, which is pretty good. It's not, they haven't played the quest, but they don't necessarily need to play the quest. They can always play the quest later. But the fact that he's playing Violet Spellwing makes me think it's a Reno Mage. Like I said, I'm just gonna play tap this turn, and then next turn's gonna tap again, and then play Homunculus. That means we're gonna get another like 3 draws, and hopefully within 3 draws we'll get like something like a Mountain Giant. Okay, he goes for Primordial Glyph. Still no Mountain Giant. I'm gonna tap. Oh, we finally got Mountain Giant for next turn. And then so if we play a card this turn, we go to 8, we go to 9, and then we can play this, I believe. Yep, so we're gonna play this Homunculus. Typically with your Homunculus, you hope that you have a Spellstone in your hand to like buff it up, but it's fine. This is just a good way to damage yourself, because our other like big minion is our Molten Giants, and now he plays the quest because he, like I said, he doesn't need to use the quest until he gets the actual spells that aren't in his deck. He's actually quite lucky because he got a redo with the Primordial Glyph, and then he got another glyph off of his Tome of Intellect, so my opponent's definitely high rolling. Sorry about that. So we can tap to get a free draw this turn. I think we're gonna do that. So we'll tap this turn, go to 10, and then we'll play this 3 mana Molten Giant, and we're gonna go face. No need to trade. So we're actually the beatdown in this deck, because once he gets his quest, he's gonna do a lot of shenanigans, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be rough for us. We're gonna have 10 cards again next turn. Oof, rolling Fireball. So he got the answer off a glyph, but he did re-roll his glyph a couple times. That's fine. So we're at 19, so we can't quite play this Hooked Reaver yet. So what do we want to do instead? I think I'm going to play Homunculus first, and then I'm going to tap. And then I'm going to play this Sun Fury Protector just to dump cards from our hand and also put pressure. Now that we're at 15, this is finally activated, so we have a 4 mana 7/7 with Taunt. And then maybe we can do something like copy of Faceless Shambler. Another play next turn we can make is Thaurissan to reduce all of the mana cost of our cards by 1. And here he plays his Kazakis, which is his other Highlander synergy. So he also has Zephrys, Reno, maybe the other Reno Jackson that was from Saviors of Oldum. I don't think they play Inkmaster Salia because she's been like power creeped by quite a bit. I think this is like a slow turn for him, so I'm just gonna do this, but let's see, 6 mon, he might like Blizzard or something like that. Do I really care? The fact that he pinged here, oh, he had to ping one of the 2 taunts, right? I'm I'm just gonna go face. We want to get the damage in. Obviously, he has Reno Jackson, heal back to full, but so be it. So we got a good. I mean, he's very pressured to deal with this Thaurissan now. Hopefully, we can get a swing turn next turn. Maybe we could do like tap, and then we'll play 2 of our 3 drops. That sounds like a plan.
What to do?
Obviously, we'll have to play a card first in order to not overdraw, because we'll be at 10 cards next turn. Deal 4 damage to Almenius. Good thing we didn't trade here. We got an extra bit of damage. And he has to... It would be very funny if this throws... I mean, it's the expected result. Not a big deal. So he has his open the way gate, which is scary. So we should taunt up this turn, definitely. Maybe we want to use up all of our mana. Possibly. But I think I'm just going to play this Hooked Reaver. And then Faceless Shambler. I don't think I want to tap right now. I'm kind of scared. I'm going to pass.
My hand is too full.
I was thinking of tapping, but the fact that he has Waygate in his hand is too spooky for me. Surprising. So I'm going to get him... So I'm going to do 14. I guess he's not afraid of me bursting him out. Okay, let's see what we can do here. If I tap, I reduce this by 2. I definitely want to tap this turn. I'm probably going to Spellstone it. So let's tap. So it's probably going to be... Alright, first let's play our Molten Giant. Spellstone this. And... kind of misplay because I was going to play this as well. But let's go face here. And I'm going to play this Spellbreaker. Hopefully we didn't need this Spellbreaker, but... Okay, there's the Waygate, so he's going to take 2 extra turns. So this is his first extra turn. And this is like why I usually tend to stick to aggressive decks, because the top dogs in this format, you're going to see a lot of Highlander Reno Mage, and they're going to do shenanigans like this, and it can be very frustrating for like players with only budget options. So he has Reno the Relicologist. I guess it would have been nice to have like more stats on board. Remember, he gets another turn after this, so he can trade off with my board. And there's the Mana Giant. And then he's going to copy this, so he's going to get another Relicologist. So he's going to pass back at his turn again. He gets coin, sure, that's fine. And then he's going to do something like bump, hit, hit, bump, bump. Yep. Rough for us, but... And he has lifesteal. Unfortunate. I think we don't really have many outs here anymore. So... Alright. Oh well. And this is kind of the... Well played. This is kind of the stuff that you're going to see on ladder, right? Against Reno Mage. We just couldn't get there quite fast enough. That's fine.
Your soul shall be mine. I am your nightmare.
Alright, we have a Warlock mirror here. I'm gonna assume it's either Reno, but so like we have the option to keep the file here if it is an aggressive Warlock. It might be Galakron or something like that. I'm definitely keeping Mountain Giant. And Homunculus is a good like mid option to like weave into our turns. Let's think about this. I think we're gonna tap turn 1, tap turn 2. And after that, so do we need this to file? I'm just gonna mulligan it. I feel like it's gonna be some sort of heavier Warlock. I doubt it's gonna be the Zoo, which is, you know, your early to mid game board flood Warlock variant. If it's not even, okay. I'm assuming it's Reno. He passes too, so I doubt it's Zoo. Tap turn 1. So we're at 7 cards. Next turn we go to 8, and then we can tap again, and then we can follow up with Mountain Giant. Yep, and then we're gonna fit in a tap here. Got our Molten Giant. This is gonna be a little tough for us to play because they're probably it's gonna be like we're just gonna be live tapping back and forth here. So we're at 10. We're gonna play our Mountain Giant, and we're gonna pass. So this is like the ideal start, and it looks like a hand lock of some sort. I don't know if he's playing duplicates. I'm gonna assume he is, and maybe he got lucky to get the first Mountain Giant. What can we do here? We definitely want to pressure, so I'm gonna copy this and then go face. He could punish me by playing his own Faceless Shambler. Oh, Shadow Flame. Okay, that's fine. That's a 2 for 2. It looks bad, but it's still a 2 for 2 trade. And I got an 8 damage. So we're at 10 cards already. So what do we want to do? I'm probably just going to play this Twilight Drake. Is there anything else we want to do? We could coin and play this Homunculus to buff up this Spellstone, but maybe I just want to keep the coin for more flexibility. Next turn's probably going to be another Twilight Drake. My opponent's at 10 cards as well. This is going to be a slug. Looks best. Oh, he's playing a very traditional hand lock. So Ancient Watchers from back in the day. One thing we have to watch out is he's getting really low, so his Molten Giants are going to come online first. We have to probably just dump cards here, so I'm going to play this second Twilight Drake, and then I don't know if I want to actually hit his face. I'll pass here. I'm going to wait. When we push, we want to make sure it's like a meaningful push. So he can play his Molten Giant for 4 mana, but it's kind of awkward, right? Because then he can't taunt it on the same turn. He can taunt these. Sure, that's fair enough. What do we want to do? We're at 7 mana. We can tap this turn finally. He played 1 Shadow Flame, so that's 1 less that we have to worry about. I'm gonna tap. And I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this Genn Greymane. We're gonna double poke here and bide our time a bit. The reason why I didn't play this Abyssal Summoner is I don't want to play too much into AoE. It's kind of hard to dump this Genn Greymane. It's just a 6 mana 6/5, but like we want to like empty our hand a bit. Oh, he might be playing Defile. I don't think this is the Defile math quite yet, but he can play Godfrey. I think. Godfrey doesn't quite work out quite either, but maybe he has a Mortal Coil or something like that. Oh, Defile. So it might be a Defile into a Hellfire. If he Hellfires, then he can play his Molten Giants this turn for 1 mana. So this is another Defile, so double Defile. So he can't quite play his... Yeah, he can't quite play his Molten Giant then, because he has 2... It's at 2 mana. We're at 10 cards. We're gonna play this Abyssal Summoner. Probably our best use of our mana. We have 1 Spellbreaker to silence one of his taunts. We might just coin Gul'dan next turn, but I do want more resources. I think we're just gonna pass here. So this is gonna be his big swing turn. He's how deep into it? He's deeper into his deck than I am. So he has 7 mana, so Molten Giants are coming down for 0 this turn. So he's sequencing it so this gets the most health. Molten Giant, he's going to taunt these up. Alright, so let's think about how we can do this. So we definitely want to okay, we can go to 10 mana this turn. We're going to silence this. We can send this here. And then this is going to be a 6 health. Okay, we have lethal here. So first, silence this. We send this damage here. And then we deal... there's like multiple ways to lethal, but we're going to coin. Send this damage here. Hellfire, and then punch to the face. So that was a sort of bit of a slugfest between two slower Warlocks.
Gul'dan versus Tyrande.
You give me strength.
Your soul shall be mine.
Alright, we're against Priest. So Priests tend to be like controlling variants. We want our big threats. So things, our big threats against Priest tend to be Mountain Giant and Twilight Drake. Molten Giant isn't as good because Priest isn't going to hit you in the face, so it's going to be very hard for us to get our life total down. We're going first, so we don't really need our 2-drop. We're just going to tap a bunch into our turn 4. So we're happy to at least see our Twilight Drake. Now we got to look for our Mountain Giants. Not a very interactive matchup.
We have turned our curse into
Essentially, I'm going to just try to put some threats, but greetings. I think this is definitely not favored for the Warlock. Even though we do have life tap, it's like Priest has so many board clears now that we have very limited threat selection. And it's, okay, we're against Quest Priest. So against Quest Priest, we probably don't want to hit them until we can get like significant damage, because we don't want to give them a chance to progress their quest. Oftentimes, Quest Priest will actually, I think it's good for them to think about healing me to turn off Molten Giants and stuff like that while also progressing their quest. Our opponent didn't do that though. So yep, we're just going to tap. I'm going to play this Ooze, I believe. Let me think. Now, let's play this Ooze. The reason why is, one, they don't run weapons, and we want to empty our hand a little bit because we want to tap as aggressively as possible to keep going through our deck. So we're 9 cards. Let me think. So if we tap, we'll go to 10, and then we can go back down to 9, and then next turn. Let's play the Drake first. You can also argue it's better to play Mountain Giant as well, but I want to see like what they present. So it's a Drake as well. We have a Spellbreaker, so I'm going to tap, Spellbreaker this, and then trade here. Sure, let's trade here, just keep our Drake healthy. We're going to go face here. I did sort of break my rule about not going face, but we're getting like significant damage while also forcing him to develop the board, so he can't like solely focus on healing right now. Although we sort of missed our Mountain Giant timing a little bit, so maybe it wasn't the best play to play this Drake, but this is why we're like just messing around and trying out this deck. Evasive Worm, kind of annoying for us to deal with. So we're at 10, just play this Mountain Giant. I'm going to tap, and I'm going to play this Homunculus. I'll trade here. I don't think, like, if he Hysteria's here, it's not that great. Light Bomb is okay against this board. There's the Death. He got the Death off the top, so yeah, if I had played my Mountain Giant earlier, it would have been able to get in some significant damage. We're back at 10 cards again. Yeah, you can sort of see like how difficult it is to dump out our hand, but yep, we're going to play Twilight Drake, and then we're going to tap, and then we're going to play this Homunculus. We got a Spellstone, which is going to get upgraded by this, and this matchup is basically, I'm going to just try to tap as much as possible, just vomit out threats, try to get that damage in. Yeah, okay, Curator's a little slow. I don't think they usually, I'm not even sure what... Okay, we know that he's running dragons, he would be playing an Evasive Worm, but Murloc, I don't know if they would be playing Finley. Maybe they're playing Cold Light Oracle or something like that. This is a pretty threatening board. Oh man, he must have some sort of AoE, right? Mass Hysteria, probably. It's okay. So let's try to do like a medium-sized threat. So let's heal up this Drake, and then let's bump this, and then let's tap to see more options. I'm gonna Dark Bomb this, and then just go face. So we have like a pretty threatening board. And then we have some refill as a backup plan. We have this 7/7, and then we can copy it for another 7/7. Other threats we have, like Molten Giants are online if I top deck them. Dragonfire Potion isn't good. Mass Hysteria is probably what he's looking for. Mass Hysteria, I'm not even gonna think about how it's gonna pan out if he does get that card off this Fire Tree Witch Doctor. Dragonfire Potion. So we have 2 dragons. I think that's lethal. So our opponent played a lot of slow cards. It just wasn't like enough. So we're just gonna Dark Bomb and go face for exact lethal. We had a bit more burn. We had 2 Hellfires as well. We could have combined that with the Dark Bomb. So yeah, Priest was just a bit too slow, and you saw like we just aggressively tapped, put out threats. One thing that we could have improved on this game, it was really a toss-up, was whether or not to develop Mountain Giant first or Twilight Drake. Alrighty, so today with our games of trying out Even Lock, we played against a lot of slower decks, right? We even got to play against the boogeyman of the format, which I think is Highlander Quest Mage. They got to get their crazy combo with Vargoth plus double turns of Time Warp, and we just couldn't deal with that. That's why I think Even Lock doesn't quite get there in the current meta. Even though we got our Mountain Giant early, they were able to recycle their primordial glyphs and find the perfect answer, which was the rolling fireball. Against the other decks that we played against, which is the traditional handlock, that was a very entertaining match. We were playing the same cards, we were playing the Mountain Giants and the Molten Giants just in different shells. We had the advantage of a cheaper life tap, but in some games, the traditional handlock has access to other tools like Lord Godfrey, which is another board clear they have against aggro and stuff like that. Against Priest, Priest didn't really do much against us, and it shows like one mindset you can have against those decks that give you a lot of breathing room is you can aggressively tap, so you can play 2 cards per turn. You can play like a mid-range size card like Twilight Drake and follow it with a 2-drop like Vocal Homunculus. Just like really mid-sized minions to put pressure on the Priest. Hey, you're not doing anything to me, so we're gonna just like do some chip damage, and then you have some bits of burn with Dark Bomb and Hellfire, and that's how we close out the game. We might revisit this deck in the future on the rank ladder. I definitely enjoy Warlock. It's the class I got 500 wins for first for the Golden Portrait. And if you take this on ladder, I wish the best of luck to you, and until next time, peace.